Are you serious? Are you serious? Guys, let's get serious. I'm going to get some coffee. Do you even realize, this shows you how bad the reporting is in the mainstream, lamestream, fake news media. But do you know how many horrific, evil terrorist attacks have happened around the globe in the last 30 days? It's unbelievable. Get some coffee and calm down and let me reveal this report to you, all right? Unbelievable report. But here's what we got. In the last 30 days, October 2nd, Syria, in Damascus, 17 people killed, 20 injured when two Shahed suicide bombers slaughter 17. On the same day in Pakistan, one was killed, two was injured as a bomb planted by religious radicals claimed the life of a villager. That same day in India, there was one more person killed as religious extremists barge into a house and shoot a man to death in cold blood. On the same day, October 2nd of this year, in Qim, 2 people were killed, 2 young people were executed for apostasy by ISIS, the caliphate. On the next day, October the 3rd, 2017, India, 1 was killed, 2 were injured as the Fedayeen staged a suicide attack near the airport, killing the guard. On October the 3rd in Iraq, in Fallujah, 3 were killed when a woman is among the 3 residents killed in their own homes by ISIS bomb in Iraq. In Pakistan on October 3rd, 1 was killed as a young woman in honor was killed with an axe for marrying against her family's wishes. How you like that for peace? How's that for religion of peace? On October the 4th in Iraq, 2 were killed, 4 were injured as 2 Iraqis were blown to bits by the Mujahideen car bombers. On October the 4th in Niger, 9 were killed, 2 were injured. 4 Americans are among the 9 dead as a security patrol killed during an ambush by the Islamic militants. It ended up being 9 people killed in all. 2 were wounded. 4 of those were, of course, our American soldiers. The same day, October the 4th, in Israel, 1 was killed. A Jewish man is beaten to death at his factory by Palestinians. October the 4th, in Misrata, 4 were killed. This is in Libya. In Libya, 4 were killed, 40 were injured as ISIS suicide bomber detonates at a court complex, killing the 4 and injuring 40. In Somalia on October the 5th, 1 was killed, 2 were injured as a businessman is shot to death at a coffee shop by Islamic extremists. In Pakistan on October the 5th, 24 were killed, 25 were wounded as a suicide bomber goes off at a Sufi shrine, killing, of course, the 24, including 5 children. In Syria, 15 were killed, 3 of them were children, as the citizens were torn to shreds by an ISIS rocket attack on their neighborhood. In the Sudan on October the 5th, 1 more was killed, and an ambulance driver is shot to death by Muslim terrorists. What? Because he was helping people that were considered infidels. October the 6th in India, 1 was killed. Islamic separatists opened fire on a soft target, killing a civilian. On October the 6th in Sudan, 1 was killed when ISIS militants fired on a market, killing the guard. In Pakistan on October the 6th, 3 were killed, 2 were injured. All were innocent people. They were killed by a suspected ISIS attacker. In Yemen on October the 6th, 4 were killed, 7 were wounded as Al-Qaeda suicide bomber kills 4 security personnel. In Mozambique on October the 6th, 3 were killed They were killed by Islamic radicals. They killed the community leader and his security personnel, plus wounding those other 4. It's just unbelievable. In Mozambique, we got that one. In Afghanistan, in Saudi Arabia, 1 was killed. A laborer's killed on the job by Shiite militants. October the 7th, Afghanistan, 2 were killed. 1 was wounded as Sunni fundamentalists fire automatic weapons into a checkpoint, mowing down 2 police. In Iraq, 2 were killed. 8 were wounded. A bomb at a marketplace leaves them dead. In Saudi Arabia, 2 more were killed, 3 were wounded. 2 guards were the ones killed by the palace. They laid down their lives to stop a suicide attack at the palace. In Iraq, 60 were killed. The remains of 60 civilians, victims of an ISIS execution. This was in Iraq, in Tal Afar. Executed 60 and put them in a mass grave. That was on October the 8th. Also in Iraq, the same day, another one was killed as terrorists gunned down a university professor. The same day in Iraq, 3 more were killed, 1 was wounded. The 3 civilians were dismembered by the Mujahideen. On October the 8th in Nigeria, 1 was killed, 1 was wounded. It was a Christian that was killed by a Muslim gunman. In India, 1 was killed. A terrorist murdered a border guard. In Pakistan, 1 was killed on October the 9th. He was a Christian boy. They beat him to death after refusing to convert to Islam. That was in Pakistan. On October the 9th, in the DRC, 26 were killed as Islamists tied up 26 people and broke their necks. On October the 9th in the Philippines, another person was killed. A soldier picked off by a sniper as he was trying to rescue children. In Somalia, 7 were killed, 13 were wounded. These 7 were killed by Islamist attackers at the checkpoint and also the first responders. In October the 9th in Pakistan, 5 more were killed, a targeted shooting attack by the Hazara religious minorities. They were killed by radical Islamists. In Thailand on October the 9th, 1 was killed, 1 was wounded. A Muslim insurgents killed 1 person with a planted bomb. At the DRC, 1 was killed, 12 were wounded as the ADF Islamic attack on UN peacekeepers. In Pakistan on October the 9th, 3 were killed, 7 were wounded. Pro-Sharia handlers fire on a government vehicle, killing them. On October the 9th in Iraq, 1 was killed, 1 was wounded. This was done by ISIS as they murdered a woman. In Iraq on October 10th, 2 were killed, 3 were wounded as the Muslim attackers attacked people, just innocent people. This was in India. In Iraq, 2 were killed, 6 were wounded. Children are among the casualties when ISIS members hurled grenades into a family home just for no reason. Kenya on October 10th, 2 were killed, 3 were wounded as ISIS spray a car carrying university employees with bullets, killing 2 women. In Nigeria, 1 was killed when Boko Haram shoot another person to death. In Nigeria, 1 more was killed as a villager is hacked to death. In Nigeria, another person was killed. These are all in different towns. A young man is murdered by Muslim terrorists. Also in Nigeria, on the next day, October 11th, 3 were killed. They were all killed in a raid. On the same day in Nigeria, 4 more people were killed. A 2-year-old was among 4 Christians that were murdered by the radical Islamists in Nigeria. That happened on October 11th. Nobody's reporting this stuff. Nobody is reporting this, and nobody in the world seems to care. Very few people do, I should say. And then it goes on, okay? Because in Somalia, on October the 11th, 6 more people were killed. A group were fighting for Sharia attacks and killed 6 local security personnel. On October 11th in Syria, Damascus, 2 were killed, 6 were wounded from a pair of suicide bombers. In Iraq, 11 were killed, 20 were wounded as a cafe was vaporized by a suicide bomber. What? In Egypt, 6 were killed, 4 were wounded as fundamentalists attack on a police checkpoint. Guys, it just goes on and on and on. I will put the link below. I'll put the link below. Are you serious? Pray. We need help.